Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. All smiles over here. All smiles. Can't wait to get into this matchup. Can't wait to talk about the Ravens this week. It's football season. It's football season. We go a long time without it. Come August, and then the games start in September. Hopefully, all the way to February. We're going to be here, and then we'll get into the draft season. But nothing's like football season. Nothing beats it. Thank you. Welcome to the show. A ton to talk about the Draymond Jones trade, of course, but this matchup is a juicy one. Got a lot of stats, got a lot of slides to get to. So before we get to all that, though, let's get to the people in the chat. Of course, TLC, the lovely Chris herself, new profile picture, like the lipstick, looking good with the purple and black hearts, checking in, and our guy TY. TY Not Hilton, become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, TY. Thank you. So I have to add TY down to the names you see scrolling across the bottom. But that would be our 13th permanent member. Lucky 13 from TY. Thank you so much. King Blaze in the house. Hope the smoke is doing you well, King Blaze. We see Mr. Zaratniak. Alec Polianis. The beat always gets me in a good mood. Me too. That means it's football time. We have the Linda J. What's going on, LJ? Hi, Jason. Hi, all. Heather is in here talking to Chris. We got the Cosmonaut Project. Try to leave these comments up as much as we can until we have stats that may cover them up. Tila, hello, Tila. Good to see you. Tracy, top knot. Tracy with no E. I went back and looked. Tracy. What is going on, Trace? Good to see you. Dwiz. Now I was waiting for you to show up. Dwiz actually kind of nailed a bold prediction last week. It wasn't his official bold prediction, but I wrote down Dwiz predicted no touchdowns versus Miami. His score prediction was 30-9. It ended up being 28-6. So Dwiz with the magical touch, predicting that the Ravens would keep the Dolphins out of the end zone. And by the way, I know Jeff J. Tila went to Miami and saw the game. Interested. Hopefully you guys had a great time. Rush is in here. Awesome to see you. Thanks, Rush. And it's great to see everybody giving each other love. Yeah, the magical touch. And I remember, Dwiz. I try to remember, my friend. All right, let's get into some football here. Now, of course, the trade deadline came and went on Tuesday. The Ravens made one addition, trading a fifth-round pick that could turn into a fourth, depending on if the Ravens make the playoffs. And this man right here can get 2 sacks in a Ravens uniform. Draymond Jones started off as a defensive tackle, and I have to tell you, the first thing that jumped out at me when I started watching him, there's a cut-up of him on the channel. I mean, coming out of college, he was a little bit of an undersized defensive tackle, but he was still built like a defensive tackle. And when we watch him in that cut-up and you watch him now, he is built like a bigger edge. Like, he has completely transformed his body. Credit to him, man. He looks a little bit spry out there, and of course, he still has the strength of a rush edge. But if you can see his career, he hasn't started a ton of games, but he really fits with our defense. You see the consistent sack production there, even when he was smashed in between the tackles, playing on the inside, getting double teams. Draymond Jones from Ohio State, and I forgot about my banner here. Forgot about Draymond. Everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish. And everybody acts like they forgot about Draymond Jones. So, yeah, had to get the rhyme in there. But productive player. He's going to help the Ravens. Now, is it a blockbuster move? One that really moves the needle? Maybe. Probably not. It's not a blockbuster trade. But it's going to move the needle. Kyle Van Noy looks like he needs his snaps limited. Looks like they're really trying to manage him. Of course, Oweh was traded. We got a rookie, Mike Green. Got a lot on his plate. David Ajabo. Tough look for him. So Draymond will fit in. He will play a lot of snaps. He's ready to go. Also, Carl Lawson could be ready to go this week. We'll have to wait and see on that. But, of course, Carl really hasn't worked out what there wasn't in training camp. He's a good veteran player. But a power edge, and that fits what the Ravens are asking their edge players to do, especially on early downs, contain the quarterback, keep them in the pocket. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, some more people came in, so I want to give them some love. Uh, lay back, Big Al. Lay back, Big Al. Where are you, buddy? There he is. Al. What's up, family? What's up, Al? Good seeing you. J Dub, like a glove. Okay, hey, maybe you're talking about Draymond there. He does fit the power rush aspect of what we're trying to do in the contain rush. I mean, the man still has really good strength. You're not able to play defensive tackle in the NFL unless you're a strong person. He has the heavy hands. But yeah, he looked a lot more spry than I expected from a converted D tackle. Like he looks like an edge rusher. Dario here. Hi, Jason. Good evening, everyone. John is in here. Great night. This is going to be a fun show, guys. Mike, hey, what's going on, Mike? Good seeing you. Not ignoring you, I promise, Mike. And British Raven. Good to see you, British Raven. Looking forward to seeing what Draymond Jones does on the Ravens. Me too. I feel like he's going to play a lot of snaps. I really do. Is he an MVP type player? No, but he is going to help us a lot. All right. Great to see everybody in here. Something that the Ravens are doing, something that I've been noticing on tape, they're playing more of this like amoeba style defense. Now, this is a 3rd and long. If I take the members off, you could probably see the 3rd down marker down there around the 30-yard line. So this is a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Now, I want you guys to just pay attention to the alignment here. Not going to play the roll the tape. But in the back end, you see Starks and Aloy Gilman. They're around the 35-yard line. You got 2 corners in Nate up top by the 30-yard line, Awuzie at the bottom, marking of the 30-yard line. You have Marlowe up there, so you have your 3 corners and 2 safeties. And you see Roquan in the middle of the defense, and he's not even playing middle linebacker. He is on the overhang right there, lined up kind of across from the big tight end. But look at the defensive line. Look at the front that they have rushing here. Not a normal front. At the top of the rush over the right tackle is Mike Green. You see Travis Jones in a 3-point stance. He's the only one in a 3-point stance. And then down at the bottom, Kyle Van Noy, Trenton Simpson, and number 14 himself. Talk about Slim Shady. There he is right there, ready to cause havoc. They're overloading the left side of the line here. They're trying to generate pressure any way they can. And this is something we've been calling for on the channel. The Ravens are doing it. They're getting creative. No more two nose tackles on the field trying to rush the passer. They do have the 2 edge rushers there in Green and Van Noy, but they're matched up with Trenton Simpson, Kyle Hamilton around the line of scrimmage, all kind of lurking and patrolling. And this is what the Ravens are going to have to do to generate pass rush on 3rd down. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now, where it doesn't help is 1st and 10, that kind of thing. That's where we need Draymond Jones, Carl Lawson, Mike Green to keep progressing. Kyle Van Noy, a couple of really nice pass rush moves in this game, by the way. But yeah, I wanted to just give you guys a look of what the Ravens are doing on defense here, and it's helped them big time. There's a slide that I needed to bring up. I was overloaded with slide, but we're going to bring it up right here. It's the defensive turnaround. This is from Rich Eisen's show. Love Rich Eisen, by the way. But that turnaround from weeks 1 through 5 to the last 4 weeks, 6, 7, 8, and 9, you see the difference. Went from giving up 35.4 points a game to 13 the last 4 weeks. The yards per game down by almost 100 yards. First downs down by almost 7 per game. And then the takeaways, only 2 takeaways in the first 5 weeks. Painful, painful, painful. That's what happens when you don't get home before. That's what happens when you don't blitz and don't generate pass rush. Thank goodness they've made these changes and adjustments. Took them a while, but they did it. And the takeaways are starting to come too. So just a little clue here of how the Ravens defense has turned it around. And I think they're going to need to rely on this defense this week against the Minnesota Vikings. Very confusing defense for the Vikings, a Brian Flores defense, consistently good. So the Ravens are going to need their own defense to step up and try to shut down J.J. McCarthy. Comments are just flowing in, and I love it. Thank you guys so much. Not going to be able to get, this might be a good one to throw in a nice little super chat. Okay, throw in a nice little $1.99 or something. And we do have some from the head VP. Heather, is that your first one or second one, hon? I can't even see it. Okay, we're gonna Heather checking in. We're gonna get it, Heather. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, here we go. Jason, I'm so upset with the front office. I was hoping we would at least try to get a no lineman. Why didn't we try to get Zeitler? On defense, we could have tried Calais. Those moves, I agree. I agree. I thought it was an underwhelming trade deadline, to say the least. I know the prices were high, Heather, and I know that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, look, Sauce Gardner went for 2 first-round picks. You saw what Quentin Williams went for. Jalen Phillips went for a third, for a rental. But that's not what you're talking about is different. And this is where I agree with you, Heather, and a little disappointed because my philosophy is Lamar is only going to be in his prime for so long. Every year is important. We should be pushing the envelope every year. We got the cap space right now to make a move. And the moves that you're suggesting here, Calais, Zeitler, they're not huge blockbuster moves. It's not like we would have had to sell the franchise to get those guys. So yeah, I'm upset too, Heather. I'm upset too. I know some will disagree and say, hey, you shouldn't overpay. You should stick to their philosophy. But I was with you. I was expecting even another move before that 4 o'clock deadline, and the move never came. It just never came. So yeah, I'm with you, Heather. I'm totally with you right there. Heather with another comment. Flores is about to throw everything at Lamar and the kitchen sink. Blitz is about to go crazy. So I'm going to pull this stat out right now. Heather, now that you brought it up, the Vikings, second highest blitz rate in the league. So they blitz second most out of 32 teams. They are second highest in the league. Lamar Jackson versus the blitz. Lord, what a difference between the Greg Roman offense and the Todd Monken offense with Lamar. And part of it's Lamar's maturity as well. 136.4 passer rating versus the blitz for Lamar Jackson with 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. Now, the fear here is that the guards have not been good at picking up the blitz. It's one of the many things that they're struggling with. But especially versus the blitz, there's just free rushers coming up the middle. And what Flores does is, man, he is a master of disguising. They look like they're not going to blitz. They blitz. They mug everybody up on the line of scrimmage. They ended up backing them off. They look like they're in cover 2. They come down and load the box. They look like the box is loaded. They'll drop back into quarters coverage. Lot of 2 deep safety looks from Brian Flores. We're going to have to run them out of it. But very astute comments from Heather. And as usual, I'm kind of with you, Heather, on everything. Yeah, this is fun from Mike too. It said he couldn't hear like he was playing an away game. I don't know if I completely believe him on that. I think that's a excuse. I tried to blend those words together. What's up, Jason from Hoderi? Football is family. Your predictions for game plan offensively and defensively to get a win in Minnesota. Coming up, Hoderi. Stick with me. Ashley is in here. Just great to see everybody. Flock Rundown. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you. Hit that like button. Ryan says so. Listen to Ryan. Tila, story of my life. No expectations, no disappointments. I was expecting it, though. Like Heather was saying, I was expecting some kind of minor move, not the blockbuster like people talking about Max Crosby and Quentin Williams. I didn't think so, but I thought we would do something. Blackula with some early game plan, and he wants the slant and go, the old sluggo to Bateman and Tez all day. That could beat the blitz. Can Tez get active, though, Blackula? I mean, I think we're asking for too much here. Took us a long time to get Keaton active like we wanted. Now Tez is rotting on the bench. I guess you can't activate everybody, but a little frustrated. Mr. James, my issue is not Lamar handling the blitz. It would be the O-line for me. Yeah, he's going to test us. Blair Davis checking in. Brian Flores about the Steve Spagnuolo 2.0 with the defensive play calling. Hey, we got to be ready to handle it. And Heather, gifting a membership. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks to TY for joining a member as well. All right. Let's get back into it. Oh, man, it's a lot to get to today, and I'm really excited. The divisional details. Let's get to some details on this division. Now, we've shown this slide a bunch of times. It is, and I don't know why the slides take extra long to come up. It is the Ravens' remaining schedule. The Vikings game is the second of 3 consecutive road games. So at Miami on a Thursday, we're kind of lucky to have this mini bye because 3 road games in a row is not easy. At the Vikings, finish it off in Cleveland, and we got 3 home games. Then our last 3 out of 4 are on the road. Topsy-turvy kind of schedule, but manageable for the Ravens if they play up to their capability. Now, here's what I wanted to get to. People say, okay, our schedule is easy. And you look at it and the records of the team aren't good. Then they'll say the Steelers have a much tougher schedule, but they never get down to the details, the divisional deets of what that looks like. So I decided to put together a spreadsheet to very simply spell it out for you. Now go ahead and take off the comments if I can. Okay, so this is going to break it down for us. The shared games that the Ravens and Steelers play. Of course, the Ravens and Steelers play each other twice. The Ravens and Steelers both have the Bengals at home, and they both go to the Browns. So what games are different? What games are different? You can see them right there. We have a trip to the Vikings this week. The Steelers go to the Chargers. We have the Jets at home. They have the Bills at home. So that's the AFC matchup right there. You would have to favor the Ravens in there. You would much rather play the Jets than the Bills. That is a huge, huge difference. We go to the Bengals. They go to the Bears. The Steelers get the Dolphins at home. We get the Patriots at home. Advantage Steelers in that matchup. And then you see the last matchup, 2 tough games. Tough games for each team. The Ravens are at the Packers, and the Steelers are at the Lions. So when you break down the schedule and you say, well, the Ravens got a much easier schedule than the Steelers, here's what it looks like. Each of them have, 4 home games or 4 road games remaining and 3 home games remaining. And then, of course, they play each other home and home. So, yeah, there you go. Can the Ravens play well enough and cash in and pick up a game or 2 here on the Steelers, aside from when they play each other? Because you never want to wait until the last minute like last year. I see Romy Rome in here. Hey, Jason. Hey, everybody. Greetings from Germany, from Romy Rome herself. Great to see you. Hey, and we got gifted memberships coming in. Wow. Mike M. Flockgang gifting. Heather gifting a membership. TY gifting a membership. Man, y'all are really, really spreading the love tonight. Really appreciate this. Block Rundown saying we have to sweep Pittsburgh this year. Thanks, Mike. That's big of you, man. Thank you. Need Jimbo to do his job against Mike T. Yeah, old Jimbo Harbaugh. Wow. Yeah, he's pretty out there, Jim Harbaugh. Probably a better coach than John, though. Thank you for the love on the schedule. Yeah, figured to put this together because everybody wants to say the Steelers' schedule is harder, but I wanted to spell it out for you. I love this graphic and wanted to make it. Okay, so let's get into this this matchup here because it's a fascinating one and really, really excited to go over it here. The Vikings are 4-4. So it's been kind of a topsy-turvy season for the Vikings at 4-4. They open the season at Chicago, divisional game. They go up there. J.J. McCarthy looks good. They beat the Bears. Everything's peachy keen. Vikings got a good roster. They got good coaches. Kevin O'Connell, really nice head coach, offensive mind. Brian Flores, you guys know all about him defensively. They beat Chicago in Chicago, start the season well. Then they go to Atlanta, or they have Atlanta come to their house, rather, lose 22-6 to the Falcons. The Falcons, a confusing team to figure out. I just don't get the Falcons. They lose 22-6 to the Falcons. Carson Wentz becomes their quarterback. McCarthy hurt. Carson Wentz beats Cincinnati 48-6. Everybody's beating up Cincinnati. They lose to Pittsburgh. They beat Cleveland. Then they go through a rough patch, losing to Philadelphia and then getting obliterated by the Chargers 37-10. Kimani Vidal ran all over the Vikings team in that game. It was at their worst. Carson Wentz gets hurt. It was just a poor showing, losing to the Chargers in LA 37-10. So you think they're on the road to being left for dead. They're going to have to start J.J. McCarthy again. He's managing games. He only has 2 starts this year. And what do? They hold down Jahmyr Gibbs. They hold down David Montgomery. They sack Jared Goff 5 times, and they win in Detroit 27-24. So an up and down season for this Vikings team. What do you get? Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that's kind of the story of this Vikings game. So the Ravens are playing an unpredictable team. And anytime you play an unpredictable team, guys, what's the story? We just got to be ourselves. We got to play our best brand of football. So just looking at the Vikings from this perspective, you can see how kind of up and down their season is. And I want to get right into the box score here. Okay, come on. There it is. I told you, it never brings up the right slide now. The last meeting was in 2021 at Baltimore. The Ravens win 34-31 in overtime. That was the season, of course, Le'Veon Bell. I think he scored a touchdown. Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray. We went through a lot of players. Beat the Vikings 34-31. I don't remember that game really, really clearly, to be honest. There are some, like that Chicago game from last week that or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about where Tyler Huntley had to come back. I remember that. The last Miami game where we blew them out on New Year's Eve. I remember that. This one I don't remember too well. So yeah, I don't have little fuzzy memories there. Yeah, see Black Daniels in the house passing through. Love you, brother. Good seeing you. But this JJ McCarthy Vikings team. Now, JJ McCarthy has played 3 games, and you can see through 3 games, the yardage 444 yards. So he's averaging only about 150 yards a game. And that was kind of the question mark of him coming out of college was, well, he was managing the game for the Michigan Wolverines. He wasn't asked to really air it out like some of these other first round picks. He got picked in the first round anyway. But he's really managing the game for the Vikings, only 150 yards. You see the completion percentage is low, not even close to completing 2/3 of his passes, 38 for 66, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. He actually threw another pick that did not count last week. It was called back because of penalty, but he could have very easily had a 5th pick. Quarterback rating 73, yards per attempt only at 6.7. So McCarthy, this is why I'm kind of expecting, spoiler alert, when we give our score predictions later in the show, I'm kind of predicting a lower scoring game here. I'm feeling that like I would bet the under if I was going to bet. In the backfield, Aaron Jones has been hurt, banged up a lot, missed a chunk of time, came back on the injury report. He did not practice today. Bring up that injury report soon. Forgot to do that. Still averaging 5.1 yards per carry, but the former 49er, Jordan Mason, has picked up the slack. You see him 4.3 yards per carry, very average, 98 attempts, a little over 400 yards. Their run game, so-so. Their passing weapons, as good as it gets, now we play a team in Cincinnati that I would think I would take maybe a little bit over these 2 guys, just with the track record of T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase is a superstar. But yeah, and hey, Ryan gifted a membership. Thanks, buddy. You ain't have to do that. Really, really appreciate you, Ryan. Hopefully send me a DM, man. Let's get back on the show together. But the weapons for the Vikings, it's very clear. Look at the yards per target. Justin Jefferson, 9 yards per target. Jordan Addison, who was suspended the first 3 games, so his numbers are a little bit down. But make no mistake, he is their number 2 receiver at 10.5 yards per target. Explosive start to his season for Jordan Addison. Then you got T.J. Hawkinson, short passes to him. Naylor, by the way, caught the game-winning, game-sealing 4th down conversion or 3rd down conversion last year. Just a nails throw from J.J. McCarthy to Jalen Naylor to ice that game. And that's about it, though. It's about pretty much about Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and then you get the other guys kind of contributing in. For the Ravens, you can see Derrick Henry back up to 4.9 yards per carry. Lamar Jackson coming back has helped them. I mean, teams cannot load the box against Lamar Jackson. He will kill you with his arm. Mike M. with the Flock Gang. Thanks, Mike. Gifted another membership. Man, y'all are on fire tonight. making me feel great about this show. So there you have it. Uh, a low volume passer in JJ McCarthy with two of the best weapons in the game as a tandem. Um, how does that work out? Do they need JJ McCarthy to open up? Notice that the Vikings have been better when they've had the lead. When they have to come back, they're not a team that has shown the ability to come back with McCarthy, because or Wentz for that matter, even with Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison. They're just not built for that. Like there's no substitute for having a all Pro Bowl type quarterback, an elite quarterback. There's no substitute for that. The Ravens have it. The Vikings don't. If the Vikings get the lead in this game and they can send the house, it's going to be hard for the Ravens. If the Ravens get the lead, I think that's a key to the game. Get the lead on them, establish the run, establish some balance in your offense, and really just run away with this game. You can get Flores out of his scheme and just play man on man with them, and they're going to have a hard time matching up in the secondary against our receivers. Speaking of which, Lamar Jackson using those receivers to perfection, leading the league in 9.1 yards per attempt, leading the league with a 136.7 passer rating. And going back to your comment, Heather, so Lamar is 136.7 on the year. He is 136.4 against the blitz, so almost an identical passer rating versus the blitz versus not against the blitz. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Yeah, you guys are the goat. You guys are the goat. Blackula saying Likely and Bates should have a good day. Okay. All right. Let's look at the team rankings. Now, Ashley, you don't have to hide your eyes as much, okay? Because we have come back a little bit. Remember, the Rich Eisen show revival. This is what it used to look like. This is what it's looked like recently. And now we'll get into what it looks like overall. There it is. The Ravens have 5 categories in the black now, none in the green, but only 5 in the red. And they have scooted up a tremendous amount. Last week, the Dolphins were 2 of 12 on third down, which got the Ravens out of the red on third down defense. The Dolphins, were 0 for 3 in the red zone against the Ravens. So the Ravens have moved up to middle of the pack, 16 in red zone percentage. You know the stories in this Vikings offense. Again, they look like us. The colors look like our colors. 5 in the red. Or is that 4? Actually 6 in the red and 4 in the black. The big weakness on this Vikings team is their secondary. They can be had in the back end. So when you beat them, you can beat them good. Look at the sacks taken. Now, the Ravens struggled to get to the quarterback. Again, McCarthy was sacked 5 times last week by the Lions. They have taken 33 sacks, McCarthy and Carson Wentz this year. They've turned the ball over a bunch. So yeah. What takeaways, sacks. Neither team has been good, but the Ravens are coming up in those categories. The Vikings haven't been good all year. So curious to see how that pans out. Let us look here. Forgot to get to the injury report, and I want to get to that. 2 major injuries, I would say, for the Vikings. One is Aaron Jones, their running back, longtime running back, former Packer, really good player, can beat you out of the backfield, can beat you in the run game, catching the ball. Shoulder, toe, mentioned he missed a lot of time this year already. He did not practice. Maybe that's a rest day. It wasn't characterized as a rest day. But either way, I put Jordan Mason in their starting lineup because it looks like Aaron Jones of old, where he's touching the ball almost 20 times a game, getting his 15 carries and handful of targets. Doesn't look like he's ready to do that. So a beat up Aaron Jones. Jeff Okudah, project, has bounced around, did not practice because of a concussion. Our old friend Josh Oliver hasn't played. And that's big for them because you guys remember Josh Oliver, excellent blocking tight end for us, went on, made his money in Minnesota and was doing well. But that's the other big missing part that they have there. Okay. All right, it's highlight 'em time. Highlight 'em time. For the Vikings, I think JJ McCarthy is an easy person to highlight here. And he makes some spectacular plays. McCarthy makes those plays. It's if you haven't seen him, it's almost like a Baker Mayfield type style. I would kind of compare him to Baker more than any other quarterback. McCarthy's got a little more mobility than Baker. Both of those guys have an underrated strong arm. They're both good throwing on the move. Um, so yeah, like a Baker Mayfield style, but of course, very inexperienced. McCarthy, very inexperienced, whereas Baker has turned himself into a heck of a player. And then, Justin Jefferson, he would have been the easy guy to highlight in this matchup just because of how dominant he is. Do you guys like Chase or Jefferson better? Who do you think's the better receiver? Um, yeah, I was interested to see what you guys think. I'm kind of partial to Jamar Chase. Maybe it's because we see him all the time, but Justin Jefferson right up there, kind of a 1A, 1B to me. But yeah, we could have highlighted Justin Jefferson, but I decided to highlight their other receiver, Jordan Addison. You saw it earlier. He was suspended for 3 games, come back. He's averaging over 10 yards per target. My philosophy on this is simple. Justin Jefferson is going to get his. He gets his every game. You got to try to contain Justin Jefferson, of course, but Jordan Addison is the guy. Jordan Addison is the guy. You cannot let him get loose for more big plays. The Vikings rather don't have a lot of explosive playmakers other than those two. So if you want to hold Addison down, you're going to hold this Vikings offense down a whole lot. That's kind of my philosophy on that. Um, See Jordan Mason in the backfield next to JJ McCarthy, not an explosive back, more of a power back, more of a between the tackles type guy. And I think that this is a big game for Teddy Buchanan. And the reason is I suspect Teddy Buchanan's going to blitz. I think Teddy Buchanan has got to keep an eye on JJ McCarthy when he rolls out. And I think Teddy Buchanan has just got to just keep being physical. He wasn't credited for either of the 2 forced fumbles last week, but Teddy Buchanan was a force. Hey, and we see a Vikings fan come in, Skull's state of mind. What's up, man? Great to see you. Feel free to give your opinions in here. We got a really welcoming group, as you can tell. Everybody's saying hi to you. So thank you very much. I do my homework on the Vikings, but you would know better than me, brother. And like I was saying, Justin Jefferson is going to get his. I think the Ravens really need to pay attention to Jordan Addison and make sure he doesn't burn us on the long one. But it's great seeing a Vikings fan in there. Battle of the Purple. Battle of the Purple. But yeah, Teddy Buchanan, keep an eye out for him. Wasn't credited with either of those 4 fumbles. Alohi Gilman got in, stripped the ball. Marlon stuck his hand in, stripped the ball. But on both of those plays, Teddy Buchanan was blowing up the ball carrier and really took the ball carrier's concentration off of ball security. So he's going to have to come into play. Like I said, I imagine Buchanan's going to be very active in this game with the style of play that Minnesota has. A strength of this Minnesota team, and it has been, and what Ravens fans have been asking for, the Vikings have delivered for their young quarterback. Now let's just go over this. You guys know T.J. Hawkinson, former first-round pick. You know all about Addison, first-round pick. Justin Jefferson, first-round pick. Christian Darrisaw, their left tackle, first-round pick. Brian O'Neill, excellent right tackle. I forget what round he was drafted in. I want to say second. Can convince me wrong, but they have a excellent tackle tandem. And then they drafted their left guard, Donovan Jackson, this year before the Ravens picked another first-round pick, investing in their offense. Will Fry's good player. They're missing the starting center. Brandle's taken off. But yeah, you talk about investing in your young quarterback. Look at all the talent that they have surrounding J.J. McCarthy. And that's why I think that this game really, from the Vikings' perspective and how many points they're going to score, will come down to J.J. McCarthy against this Ravens defense that is communicating well and has Kyle Hamilton eating right now. I mean, you guys saw the cut up on the channel I made of Travis Jones and Kyle Hamilton. Both of those players were dominant versus the Dolphins. Travis Jones is highlighted because of that performance. And Donovan Jackson, excellent prospect. He helped Ohio State win the national championship last year by moving to left tackle. He is back in his more natural spot at left guard. But we'll see Travis Jones move around a little bit. We'll see him on Will Fries. We'll see him on Brandel. Um, Need a big game from Travis Jones to keep being disruptive. And we'll see how much Draymond Jones plays. Imagine he will play a lot. I could have put him in Mike Green's spot. Kyle Van Noy, of course, getting his reps a little bit more limited. But yeah, big matchup on this side of the ball. Shout out to Malachi Starks getting his first interception. Great to see that. This Vikings offense, though, a lot of talent. They just need their quarterback to step up. Hey, got a super chat from Skull. What's up, man? Is this the Skull? This is the Skull. I can't be doing that this week. I got the right color purple one, man. You got the right. This is a Baltimore kid right here, Skull. So yeah, I can save my Skull one for after this week. Even though I'm a Vikings fan, Jackson is my guy. Yeah, Lamar is so much fun to watch, and on this channel, the people that have been here with me for longest will tell you. Back when they were doubting Lamar, it was very obvious from a film perspective to me that if they just gave Lamar control of the offense, let him call out his audibles, stop micromanaging him so much. If you know about Greg Roman's school, Greg Roman is a micromanager, very good offensive coordinator, but he wants to be in control of everything. Lamar wasn't allowed to make checks at the line of scrimmage. Lamar wasn't allowed to run the hurry-up offense. We didn't have the best weapons for Lamar for a long time. And as soon as we brought in Todd Monken and allowed Lamar to be Lamar, he wins an MVP in 2023. Probably should have won it last year. And then if you saw the numbers from earlier, he's well on his way to compete. The Ravens can come back and make the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's going to be in that MVP conversation. The numbers are just through the roof for Lamar. Bring this up again, leading the league, of course, in yards per attempt and passer rating. So, hey, man, that's mighty big of you, Mr. Skull. Appreciate you very much. Very appreciative. Very appreciative. Okay, let's flip it over. And yeah, John Randall, one of my favorite Vikings. Yeah, what an awesome. I was a Robert Smith fan as well. Skull, the running back. Brian Billick came from the Vikings. Of course, you get the Randy Moss. My goodness, that offense right there. Gary Anderson, the kicker. Having that year, that 98 Vikings team should have won it all. What a heartbreaker. Okay, let's flip it over here because this is where a lot of the action is going to be happening. Is the Ravens offense versus the Vikings defense. You can see a different story here, not as much red. We have more green on this graphic. The Ravens are up to 12th in scoring offense, which is amazing because the 2 Cooper Rush games, 6.5 points we averaged on those. Tyler Huntley brought the offense up a little bit. But yeah, the Ravens are back to scoring their normal about 30 points a game, which is what you can usually expect from a Lamar Jackson-led offense. You see the passing yards for the Ravens are low, but when they do pass, they're 7th in the league yards per attempt. So again, the Ravens will run it out, will smash it. They won't put the ball in harm's way if they don't have to. But when they do pass it, it's big plays. It's Lamar Jackson style football. By the way, did you guys notice we got our way last week with Lamar and the pass game? Remember, we were asking Todd Monken to sit Lamar down, have a meeting, do whatever they have to do to get on the same page and give Lamar some of the Tyler Huntley throws that we saw from Tyler. And boy, did they do it. Lamar got some easy completions. Early in the game, he missed a little short one, but you saw them roll the pocket out for Lamar. You saw them simplify the game for Lamar. You saw receivers running in open space. So credit to Todd Monken, credit to Lamar for getting together and putting together a short control game plan and then take your shot to Zay Flowers on that perfect throw down the right sideline when it's time in the red zone money, extending plays to Rashad Bateman. It was a beautiful thing to watch. That Miami game was a beautiful way to weave it together. And I see Kwame's in here somewhere. What's going on, Kwame? Rush yards, the Ravens are 6th. They are 1st in yards per carry. So again, getting Derrick Henry more consistent work, running him in different ways, paying off for the Ravens. 3rd down, You see the red zone, the Ravens are still struggling a little bit. And the old Jenny from Forrest Gump, sacks taken. The Ravens 23rd in sacks taken. So a little bit like the Vikings, struggling, getting sacked a little bit too much. But again, on the upswing, everything with this Ravens team is a little bit on the upswing. We were feeling it on the chin at 1-5. We were taking it on the chin, and it seemed like the whole world's collapsing. But little by little by little, the Ravens have just kept improving. Um, and with a kind of a quiet trade deadline, we're going to need to keep improving. We're going to need to get as much out of our guys as we can. Let's look at this Vikings defense. I might bring this up if it doesn't cover up the score, but just to see what the Vikings have done. You see, they've had dominant games, and they've had some head scratchers like the Atlanta game and the Chargers game. And then they go in and beat Detroit last week and just come up so clutch. Their rookie quarterback or second-year quarterback coming up so clutch against Detroit. But yeah, 20th in points allowed, 14th in yards per allowed. You can see with the Brian Flores defense, there's a little bit of feast and famine. Okay, so you look at pass yards allowed. That's where teams want to attack them. They are weak in the secondary, but man, yards per pass allowed, you're going to get your sacks. It's going to take away from the yards per pass allowed. Rush defense been pretty solid. A lot of cover two from Flores. But look how good the Vikings are on third down and in the red zone. Different story from the Ravens, 23rd in the red zone. The Vikings defense, 5th best in the red zone in the NFL. So are the Ravens going to have to kick a lot of field goals? Are the Ravens going to struggle to move the ball consistently since the Vikings are so good in their disguises on third down? Their linebacker, by the way, Eric Wilson, 2 sacks last week. And it's going to be tough in this building. That is a loud building from what everybody hears. You hear about Kansas City, you hear about Seattle, but you always hear about Minnesota too, and how loud that place goes. Harbaugh said today they had the Viking horn blaring with the noise at practice to get them used to that. But you put a Brian Flores blitzing defense in with all that crowd noise, and it's going to be making it tough for Lamar to make his adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Definitely something to worry about. We got Skull checking in again. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Let's see what you got. $4.99 super chat. And give this man his flowers. Really appreciate you. Ravens are my AFC team. I'm a Hurricanes fan too. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I've been following the Ravens since the days of Coach Billick, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. That makes total sense. Yeah, Willis McGahee, he played here. We've had our share of Miami. And now, you're a Hurricanes fan, not Hurricanes, but you look at the South Florida Ravens, and I'm sure you know all about that from Lamar to Zay Flowers. Derrick Henry's a Florida guy, but a lot of South Florida guys coming through this organization. So yeah, when we did not have a football team here in Baltimore, I definitely followed the Vikings a lot. One of my best friends, his team that he adopted was the Vikings. So Kadri Ismail brother, the Rocket Ismail, the Ismail played for the Vikings. Yeah, just a good history there in Minnesota, a fun team. And you know what? I'm going to just be honest with you here with McCarthy. The skills are obvious for J.J. McCarthy. He's going to have moments of brilliance against the Ravens and make a couple of plays. Like I said, Ravens fans, think Baker Mayfield. Think of the Baker Mayfield rolling out, throwing across his body, way more arm strength than you would imagine, and throwing a bullet. But like the early Baker Mayfield, he's also going to have these rookie mistakes, these rookie moments, I believe, against the Ravens defense. And that's going to be the story of the game. Can the Ravens capitalize? Can they minimize the deep shots? And can they minimize the scramble yardage that J.J. McCarthy, he's definitely mobile. And can they make him pay if they get an opportunity to catch an interception? Do they drop it, or do they do what Malachi Starks did last week and pick that thing off? So, hey, thank you so much, Skull. Thank you. Going to be interesting to see how the Ravens defense plays with Van Ginkel back. Yeah, he came back last week, Lenny. Didn't play, I don't think, his full workload, but he's going to be on here. And let's take a look at him. By the way, where is Mr. Loop? I was all ready for the Loop scoop and we didn't get it. No Steve, no Steve. Hey, what's up, Kwame? Didn't see you in there, man. Didn't see you in there. Saw my name. All right, now I got a little bit different look for you guys this week. Usually on the defenses, as you guys know, I go with the base nickel defense. But for this Vikings defense, because of Van Ginkel, what's up, Justin? I see you in there. Because of Van Ginkel, like was just mentioned, I have them in their base 3-4 defense. Now they trust Van Ginkel to play the old school Tyus Bowser type role, Kyle Van Noy with the Patriots type role, where they can play that big 3-4 defense, clog the middle with those big bodies, and trust Van Ginkel to drop out of coverage. So you see that 5-man front, Jonathan Grenard, excellent player, come from the Texans, has played just as well in Minnesota, if not better, has come into his own as one of the most disruptive pass rushers in the NFC. Jonathan Grenard will move, and they'll move around. They're not set in their spots. Van Ginkel will be over left tackle. Grenard will be over left tackle. They switch it up a lot. But they're three big guys in the middle. Definitely a backbone of this team. Jalen Redmond, I remember studying him out of Oklahoma. A lot of quickness from him, kind of in the mold of an Aeneas Peebles type. Can drop out in the coverage if you need him. You have the veteran Javon Hargrave, and even more veteran, I think, Jonathan Allen, who, whenever we played the team from Washington, wanted to take him on the bus back with us. Jonathan Allen looks like he's lost a step, but either way, you have three really good players on the inside. So that 5-man front, Grenard, Redmond, Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, and Andrew Van Ginkel. You'll see those guys a lot, even when the Ravens are in their 12 personnel, which for the Ravens, as you know, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, more receivers than anything. So a lot of other teams will match up with this defense, with this Ravens offense, with their nickel defense. The Vikings will do it with their base 3-4. So yeah, very interesting. Decided to throw all those guys in there. Redmond, Hargrave, and Jonathan Allen will all play a ton. And again, with the Brian Flores defense, you don't know who's coming. You don't know who's dropping into coverage. They'll mug all their people at the line of scrimmage and just drop out of that thing and play safe and flood the zone. And of course, the crowd's going crazy. Or they'll play it off and they'll look safe. And you'll have guys coming from different angles. Like the Wink Martindale defense, but much more organized and much more like he's just got a knack. Brian Flores has a knack for it. You wonder if he's going to become a head coach again soon, because I think any team would love to have that kind of defense. Unless you're in Seattle with our old friend Mike McDonald, you would want a Brian Flores defense on your team. So I have Tyler Linderbaum highlighted for the reasons of the blitz. We have got to be able to get our line calls correct. And Lamar's going to be struggling to communicate. So all that stuff, we've played a lot of home games. We haven't faced a ton of like loud places where we struggled to make adjustments. This is going to be the big challenge for the Ravens. A defense this aggressive in a place that loud. Yeah, Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, phenomenal duo. Absolutely. Yeah, Hargrave is good too. Definitely. Black Yellow has seen it. Jalen Redmond is a problem. Yeah, old Oklahoma prospect. I see my girl Chris in there tearing it up. Crack me up. Okay, Kwame, how's their secondary? Glad you asked, because this is where teams have gotten them. And if you can pick up the blitz and you see Lamar's numbers versus the blitz, this is where they lack a little bit of talent, to be quite honest with you. You saw Akuda is injured. He's not playing for them. And, he's not the player that Detroit thought they were getting when they drafted him so high. Byron Murphy, really good player. Saw him in Arizona. Expect him to match up a lot on Zay Flowers, Byron Murphy. But he's 5'10". Isaiah Rodgers on the other side, 5'11". So they don't have a lot of height. Josh Metellus, highlighted in this matchup. He's a former corner, playing a lot of safety. When they switch up their alignment, he'll be playing some corner. But I think the Ravens can get these guys. I know the Ravens can get these guys with their weapons if Lamar has time or he can buy time for himself. So this brings me to, like, will we see more of Ricard in this game instead of Likely? Will they have Ricard in the backfield, not to run block, but to pass protect? Like, I could see that. And I think what I want to see from this Ravens team in this matchup is to run the ball out of light personnel, run the ball out of spread personnel, and to throw the ball out of heavier personnel. So a lot of times you bring Ricard in, you bring Kolar in, everybody thinking it's a run play. That I think would be a good place to throw the ball because we don't need to send 20 million guys out on the route to beat the Vikings. What we need to do to beat the Vikings in the pass game is to protect. So I would like to see us pass the ball out of heavier formations. And when we run the ball with these three big guys in the middle, we have got to spread this defense out to run the ball. And again, I saw the Vikings. They seem like they panic a little bit when they're behind. So building a lead against these guys to me is very important. But yeah, Byron Murphy, good corner. Isaiah Rodgers has not played well. Josh Metellus hasn't played well. And you guys know Harrison Smith, longtime veteran. He had a rest day today, but he'll be back out there. The strength of this team is really their front five. This is just a really strong group. We mentioned Wilson, Cashman, good set of linebackers. They got Ivan Pace on the bench, really good blitzing linebacker when I scouted him out of Cincinnati. So a good mix here for the Vikings, but again, a very beatable unit if you can protect. TY say we have to stop running out of heavy personnel. Yeah, it's too many bodies, and we're not winning our one-on-one blocks. So you know if we were getting better run blocking, and we're not getting good run blocking from at least 3 out of 5 spots on the line, then you're getting beat one-on-one. It's hard to win between the tackles. And you saw again the struggles converting on 3rd and short, struggles converting on the goal line. This is why Lamar's throwing 4 touchdown passes a game, fellas, because we're having trouble running it situationally. 1st and 10. It's a little bit easier once the game gets out of control. But TY, this is my point. Run it out of light. Spread it out. Get Likely or Andrews and 3 receivers. Spread them out. Spread the field. Make the defense have to guard horizontally. Then find a lane for Derrick Henry. Little trap block, wham, little inside run. But yeah, just manning up against defensive linemen, especially this one with Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave in there. It's going to be tough sledding between the tackles. We have got to loosen them up with the pass game. We have got to get them out, run them out of cover 2 and into a loaded box. What should we do, Jason, if not 12 personnel? Well, I would like to see some 21 with Ricard in there and throw out of 21. So Ricard counts as a running back for whatever reason. Maybe even some 22. Okay, so that's 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. So you have Ricard and Henry with like a Charlie Kolar and a Likely and Zay out there. Throw out of that. Get Likely involved. Somebody predicting a big game for Likely or a big game for Bateman. Get them involved on some quick hitters with this defense. We have got to protect number 1, which is why I like a lot of Ricard in this game, and number 2, get the ball out quick. Keaton on a wheel route. Okay, there's another option. I really was impressed the way we were less predictable last week, Jason. Keaton was not just in there on pass plays or on run plays, rather. We were throwing the ball with Keaton. We didn't ask him to pass protect a lot. He was coming out of the backfield. But we were throwing the ball with Derrick Henry out there. We were running the ball. Justice Hill was out there. So we were a little less predictable with, hey, Henry's in the game, we're running. Hey, Justice Hill's in the game, we're throwing. Hey, Keaton Mitchell's in the game. We don't trust him to pass protect. We're going to give Keaton the ball while he's out there. We were a little less predictable, which I think we really, really need. Jason likes the 22 personnel. Both of them, Ashley. Max protect, pass play early. All right. So that's what we're going to be looking for, family, is throw it on 1st down with Ricard out there. And just like I said, we don't need many receivers in the pass to win, in the pass pattern to win. Zay Flowers and Bateman can win by themselves and find some space if they're all loaded up. You throw Likely, you leak him out of there. Maybe you leak Henry out of the backfield, and you get it done. Do not run Zay on that damn sweep from Chris. Felt. And Kwame, yeah, and Jay-Z backing you up. That's so funny. If they stay in too high, I like attacking the seams, drags, and slants. So yeah, if they're in too high formation, so basically the safeties are pretty much where you see them on the screen. Maybe they're backed up a little bit. Start attacking the seams down the middle, and that you're talking about the drags and the slants. How about that mesh concept to Mark Andrews, Mike, to get them crossed up? Have the running backers linebackers literally ran into each other last week. To just create some confusion and chaos. I also like how they're using Charlie Kolar as a red zone weapon because teams aren't accounting for him. Charlie acts like he's going to block. All eyes are off of him. He's leaked out. That's happened, twice? 2 touchdown passes like that on basically the same play where Charlie just does a little acting job, little Golden Globes award, little Academy Award, just acting like he's going to block. The safeties take their eyes off of Charlie or linebackers take their eyes off of Charlie. Next thing you know, he's wide open. So yeah, Mike, I want to say A+ game for Monken last week. It took Lamar a little bit to get in the groove. It did, but Monken gave him some easy throws. He's getting more creative. We mentioned not being as predictable with which running backs in there doing which things. So yeah, man, Monk come out and he's doing a really good job. Okay, guys. I think that is all of the stats that we have. Let's bring my ugly face back up here. Hi, Mom. Let's get to some score predictions. Okay. Now, I know Chris doesn't like score predictions, but Chris, we've been 2-0 since I brought him back. So, damn it, we're going to keep doing them. Vegas has it at Ravens -4.5. The over-under is 48.5. So what that adds up to is about a 27-22 Ravens victory. Type in your score predictions down. My thoughts are, I think it's going to be a little lower scoring, a little bit lower scoring than that. I'm going to go Ravens 26, Vikings 17. I think the Vikings have trouble moving the ball consistently, but when they do, they get in the end zone twice. So I'll give them 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And 26 for the Ravens, kind of the opposite. I see the Ravens being able to move the ball on a lot of their drives, 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals, 26 points. So a 26-17 score is how I have it. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Heather doesn't like score. Okay, I'll add you to the list as well, Heather, of anti-score predictions. Look, hey, Dwiz is the man right now. He's the defending champ. Predicted no touchdowns to giving up versus the Dolphins. Predicted, what was it, Dwiz? 30-9, and the score was 28-6. So Dwiz is the defending champ. But I'll keep that in mind, Heather. Sorry if the score predictions bother you, but we had to bring him back. We were 1-5, and now we're 2-0 since we brought him back. So Ravens 76. Hey, salute to you, sir. If I missed you in the comments earlier, I apologize. 27-20 Ravens. Okay, so I said 26-17. You're saying 27-20. TY with a 24-20. Kwame feeling us scoring. Okay, so we're going to burn that Flores blitz a couple of times, huh, Kwame? I like it, man. I would be so excited. Linda J and Alec copying off of each other's paper. And it looks like, it says Alec had it first, but I bet you Alec copied off of Linda. Linda, don't let him copy off of you, okay? Don't let him. Alec, this guy right here, do not trust the smile and the glasses and the Clark Kent. You've seen him on the show. He's a little devious there. A little devious. Jeremiah saying 44-13. Yeah, I do try to keep my distance from the camera. When I go on other shows and they're set and they bring up the 3-person screen, then I'm up there like Coach DC for sure. But yeah, J-Dub with the 44-13. John, 24-20. Yeah, man. I feel like there's going to be a grinded out kind of game. I don't know why. Zaratniak, 23-20 with the 3 from Loop. Is this a last-second field goal? Dario, 30-20. The beautiful Ashley, 34-17. Mike, thanks for all your gifted memberships and donations tonight, man. That's really cool. 31-20 Ravens, I'm imagining there. No, I'm not feeling the Jackson 5 this week, Heather. I'm not. I'm feeling a grinded out. We move the ball. We have to settle for field goals. Flores is really good in the red zone. He's really good on third down. I think situationally they're going to frustrate us some, but overall we have too much talent for him. That's kind of why I'm feeling the Ravens. Score 26. I'm going with 26. Blackula, 33-16 Ravens. Yeah, he's Clark Kent, right? And is that what? I don't even want to know, Chris. I don't even want to know. Dig the purple cup. Yeah, it's actually, I think it's pink or something, but it looks purple in the purple lights. Yeah, I'm going for only 2 touchdowns. Now I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I tried to make the score a little bit more interesting this week. So yeah, 26-17. And what? Look at this guy in here. That is my friend Engraven Vids, and looks like some kind of lackey is with him right there. I don't know. I don't know who's in the picture with him, but he looks like he might be a pretty good quarterback. I don't know. Engraven, what are you doing in here, man? It is great to see you. We'll have to get Engraven on the program soon enough. Unfortunately for Engraven, he is not available till real late on Wednesday nights. But he has sent his love. He always wants to come on. That's my guy, Engraven. You didn't have to do that. $49.99. My goodness, what a night here on the channel. Predicting a 50-0 game. Nah, I don't even know as long as we win. That's really the key, Engraven. And I want to show this to you, Engraven, in case you didn't see it earlier, because I know that I think you might like this. People are talking about the Steelers schedule and the Ravens schedule, Engraven. And I put together this little chart, which I think sums it up pretty nicely. So, yeah, the Ravens have the easier schedule than the Steelers, but which games are different? So you see the shared games. We play each other twice again, of course. We play the Bengals at home. We go at the Browns. And then you can see the difference there in the games. So, yeah, it's a slightly tougher schedule than ours, but it's not a murderous schedule. This week at the Chargers, with us at the Vikings, as long as we win. That's what made me think of it. As long as we win. We got to pull out this game and pick up a game in that somewhere in that 5-game stretch right there. Jets versus Bills. Of course, we'll have the Jets at home. They'll have the Bills at home. That'll be a tough game for Pittsburgh. But then again, they get the Dolphins at home. We get the Patriots at home. That's a tougher game for us. You see the Bengals or Bears, Packers, Lions, some tough games. But feel free, and if you want to use this, buddy, I'll send it to you. But I really like that chart because I wanted to dumb it down and really see what games were different. But Engraven, you're the man, buddy. You are the man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Engraven. And see Engraven getting the love. Okay, I'll take a Derrick Henry 3-touchdown game. Let's get in there at the goal line. Man, Kwame, that would be such a good sign because right now we're having to manufacture our short yardage. And Lamar is going to help, of course, because he's liable to do anything. But just handing it off to Henry and asking our offensive line to block has not been good. You remember 2 weeks ago in that Bears game, we tried to run it on the goal line. Henry ended up getting 2 touchdowns, but he had to bounce both of them out. Both of them outside. The running lanes were closed. There was no room where the design of the run was supposed to be, which was in the middle. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, I'm hoping we do. Now, I do have a bold prediction. Nate Dogg with the pick 6. What I think is going to happen this game is Nate's going to have a rough go. You're up against Justin Jefferson. You're up against Jordan Addison, 2 really good receivers. So I think we're going to hear Nate Wiggins' name called a lot. Where the Vikings complete their passes, Nate's going to be in coverage. But what do I think is going to happen by the end? Kind of like what we saw in that Bears game, where it's going to be a throw behind the receiver. J.J. McCarthy, as we saw so far on the season, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in 3 games. Could have had a 5th one, was taken away by a penalty last week. think JJ is going to give us a chance to catch a couple. I think Nate catches it, and it's about time for him to get back in the end zone. So, bold prediction: Nate Wiggins, pick six for the Ravens, and bonus bolder, even bolder prediction: Kyle Hamilton has the quarterback hit on the play. So Kyle's chasing down JJ McCarthy, ends up pushing him to the ground. JJ McCarthy throws the ball up before he gets hit, and Nate picks it off, takes it, houses that thing. So that's my bold prediction. Okay, Justin, good to see you, man. Good to see you. 35-21 Ravens. Man, I hope we put up 30. I hope we put up 30 some. I hope I'm wrong. Engraven's short. I think Engraven, he looks short in that picture because Lamar looks. Lamar was standing on a step stool. Engraven, that's what it was. I know it was. No offense to his 5'4" people. And yes, Engraven really supports the other channels. More way than you know. In more ways than you know. Always there for me. Has been. Yeah, nobody else, nobody newbie. Engraven took the time. It was very nice to me. Has helped me. This purple light that you see back here. Yeah, Engraven's the man. Jeremiah's going to bed. Better tackling for Maloe Gilman. Yeah. The one thing I think that frustrated me was we should have seen all along, Kwame, that we were going to need a veteran third safety. And we talked about this last week with the end of the bar stuff, but we were relying on Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane, Ruben Lowry. Now we got Keandre Jackson in there. But instead of just signing a veteran safety, just in case that we needed to move Kyle to nickel, and sure enough, we needed to move Kyle to nickel. Kane wasn't the answer. He's released. Ruben Lowry's gone. Bo Braid's gone. We had to actually trade for Aloe Gilman to be able to have Kyle where he needed to be. So it's very frustrating. I mean, it's revisionist, water under the bridge now. We'll talk about it next offseason. But we need a veteran safety in here. And Aloe Gilman, very smart, very active, in the right spot. But we need better tackling. Not the most physical player. And that did show up to me, Kwame, as well. Kind of bother me a little bit. I kind of like having a rough rider back there as a strong safety. If you got Malachi, free safety, now they can alternate. But man, Malachi is more physical than Aloe. If Aaron Jones plays, we got a good chance of getting a fumble. That's right, Blackula. I forgot about that. A little bit of a history from Aaron Jones. He may play. I think if he plays, though, he's only getting the ball, 5 to 8 times. He doesn't look healthy at all. So, yeah. Nasty Nate with the pick six. Love it. Yeah, I love the support too, man. What a great person. You all have been great tonight. Mike, Heather, of course, just some awesome, awesome support here. Why is Simmons still on side? I don't know, man. When it comes down to this kind of stuff, kind of like the Christian Wilkins situation, Mike, they're too good of players, from what you've seen on tape, that like the only explanation you have is like you don't know what you don't know. Like Christian Wilkins must not be healthy, or he must have been doing some really raunchy things in that locker room that could bring him charges or something. If he came, like, there's a reason Christian Wilkins isn't signed by any of the 32 teams. And there's a reason Justin Simmons is still out there too. Maybe he doesn't want to play. Maybe he let himself go. I don't know. But yeah, no excuse though for the safeties. Like, you can find safeties; they're everywhere. Get yourself a veteran safety, like Justin Simmons, like you were saying, on the back end of his career. Doesn't need to play 100% of the snaps for 17 games. To bring him in just in case, to be able to move Kyle around. That's something we cannot miss on next year. Jason, do you have Huddle It Up swag? I imagine you're talking about merch. Man, maybe I should get some. I didn't have channel members until this year, aside from 2. So maybe I should get some. And Chris, I said Jason is sending us some Huddle It Up hoodies. You know what? I think I'm gonna work on that. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. I saw it. You made sure I got my attention. Justin with the bold. Look at this guy. Mark Andrews will break Derek Mason's receiving yards record in this game. How far away is Mark? Because I know he's getting close. He's got the touchdowns record. But yeah. All right. I think I will. I need some. Ashley, I might talk to you on this. Tila, I know you guys are on Twitter to help me with the ladies portion of this to make sure I get them for men and women, something that looks good for both of them. Y'all might have to be my fashion divas on this. So, maybe be answering your DMs. Okay. Because I want to make sure if I do it, I'm going to do it right. Only 18 yards. Oh, yeah. He's going to smash it then, Justin. He's going to smash it. So let's take one more look here. Ravens offense, Vikings defense. Before we wrap it up for tonight. Ravens offense taking a lot of sacks. The Vikings defense, of course, 23 sacks on the year, creeping up in the top 10. Vikings defense, very good in the red zone, very good on third down. So it's going to be up to the Ravens to just have some outlets for this Flores defense and to stay ahead of the sticks. We cannot have 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7s against a team like the Vikings, against a coordinator like Brian Flores. You see how good they are in third down in the red zone? The way to manage that and not get crushed by that is to stay ahead of the sticks. So we're going to need some 5-yard gains on first down. If we can't run the ball, we might have to throw to establish the run. They're going to crowd the box. They have a lot of big people that they rely on up front. Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Jalen Redmond and company, Grenard, Van Ginkel. They love to crowd the middle of their defense, clog things up. We're going to have to throw them out of this, guys. So that's the key to this game. Maybe throw to set up the run and be good on third downs. Okay, so with that, I want to say thank you so much to my football family. I love my football family. Skull in here, Vikings fan. Hope you stuck around. Hope you shared the video, liked the video and all that good stuff. But man, from Heather to Engraven, to Mike, everybody, Chris, everywhere. And I know I'm forgetting people too, for all the gifting memberships tonight. TY, thank you for becoming a member and gifting a membership. There's a lot of action to recap. But enjoy the games, guys. Hey, 3 and 5, try to get to 4 and 5. Next week, this time, we'll be heading to Cleveland, trying to get to 5 and 5. But to do that, we have got to go up to a very loud Minnesota Vikings building and take care of business against Brian Flores and confuse J.J. McCarthy and get him to give us 1 or 2. Big key to the game, get the turnovers. So I love y'all. Thanks so much. Thank you to everybody tonight. Love my football family. Check in on the videos, by the way. I got a Draymond Jones caught up and just some big splash plays from Kyle Hamilton and Travis Jones from last week. Love y'all. Take care.